we have 3 campuses, and we're from the smallest of the 3 campuses, the Germantown campus. Altogether, our college has 1,500 declared engineering majors, which is amazing to me because we have classes with like 6 students. Okay. I'm here today with Colin and Amebi, and I'll give a brief introduction and then they'll explain. I think you'll be pleased to see that we're going to continue the conversation of our roundtable this morning in several ways that are exciting to us. As a transition, first I'd like to say that as an engineering professor, not only do I grade for grammar and punctuation and in certain instances, in certain contexts, but I teach those subjects as units in our course because following the rules is so critically important to us in certain contexts, rules that we didn't make or rules that we did make. Well, we are going to begin and end with questions in our session, and the question that I have for you is, how do you feel? And I could go around with the hand, but since lunch is coming, I'll just ask, think about how you feel, and specifically how you feel in the context of your profession, your professional identity. If you're from community college, then you know that the transfer from community college to a 4-year school is a critical juncture. For every student, it's a critical juncture, and one of 3 things will happen. Either the student will continue in their program of study and transfer, or they will change their program of study, or they could leave higher education altogether. Well, that plays out in engineering as well. And not just at that one critical juncture, but in fact throughout the entire profession, in school and then in professional practice. Persistence is an issue, and research so far has not offered explanations, for example, to the question of why women tend to leave the profession way early. We don't know why. We do know that students are more successful when they feel a sense of identity or belonging in engineering. So the formation of engineering identity is something that's of interest to us, and how we can implement that in the college. Well, the formation of engineering identity, it's not a one-time event. It's not a magic pill. It's not a switch that you turn on and then you're done. It's a lifelong process, of attaining membership in the profession and feeling a sense of belonging and acceptance, and also feeling a perception of self-efficacy. What we do know is that race, gender, and ethnicity influence engineering identities and interact with it. So other identities are interacting with engineering identity. Also, historically, in the United States, the privilege of engineering identity belongs to heterosexual white males. And that's a big issue. In my personal experience, I've had numerous experiences of marginalization, and I should have stopped persisting in engineering a long time ago. And in a sense, I have. I have gone over to academia. And I still struggle with feeling like I don't belong in engineering, although I've been a licensed professional engineer for over 20 years. One of my experiences in an interview for a plant engineer position, similar job I had for several years before, I was told that I don't look like a plant engineer. Going to the interview in my business suit that one interviews in. Engineers that work in plants interview in business suits, men and women, but I didn't look like a plant engineer, so I guess I was too womanly or something. So I solved that problem by adopting this hybrid form of interview dress with boots and a plaid shirt. I never did get another job as a plant engineer, though, or any other kind of engineer. Another experience, I like to think of my time in practicing engineering as running after men. running after men. So I was hired into a department, and it turned out that I was the first and only outside hire in the history of the department. They had this position they had a hole to fill, and they said, let's get some fresh blood, and they ended up hiring me. And it was at a power company. And they sent me to work with other people, other engineers and non-engineers, to see what they were doing and to learn how I could do it. So I had this experience doing some testing of the software that runs the entire power system, hardware and software testing. And first they gave me some busy work, and I was able to do it very efficiently, so that brought me back. And then they broke for lunch, and I said, just a minute, let me get my perks. Well, they didn't wait for me. They just went off to lunch. So I'm running across the street after men. Running after men. Well, it seems to me that viewing films about engineering will help students see what engineering is about. It will model engineering for them, and it will show them how they might fit in, what attributes they might have in common with the characters in the film. And also, it gives the students a common emotional experience. Well, not just students, but all of us. We view these films together, and we get a common emotional experience that gives us a framework for discussion or for understanding the content that we learn in engineering, the technical content. As an example, one of the topics we study in class is engineering failure. Well, what better way to understand engineering failure than to watch Apollo 13 and to see the angst, to feel the angst of the NASA engineers that are tasked with bringing the crew back home safely when the odds are so overwhelmingly against it. Now, Colin and Amevi are going to show you how the engineering club at our Germantown campus uses this technique to foster engineering identity formation.
So just a little disclaimer, our dynamic of our presentation is first to show a video and then do a deep discussion on how that adds to the engineering identity. So first we're going to start off with a movie clip.
Pull it out. It's stuck in there. Bring it up on the table.
With engineering identity is that there are a multitude of different types of engineers. With myself, I associate with the identity of I'm the creative guy. You know, I'm the idea man. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this. I was talking to my professor. You know, there was someone out there who viewed a cartoon like the Jetsons and said, hey, you know, we can make this into reality. You know, we can do that. But, you know, I'm the idea man. You know, I associate with that. And so it's just, it's like, it's a way for us as a community to just understand there are different types, you know. Some people might be, you know, hey, I'm the idea man, but some people might be, you know, hey, that might not work in reality, so let's find a way to make it work. That's the mediator. And then there's always the physical guy. Hey, you know, I'm trying to understand what you guys are talking about, and I always, you know, people always like question me. You know, I changed my major a lot. Before I found engineering, I was, you know, an architecture major, then I chose music. And people were like, well, why did you choose music and then switch to engineering? But people don't understand how closely related, you know, the artistic fields are to engineering as well. You know, because we have to view situations like this and be artists. We have to make this box fit into this, and we have to, you know, satisfy what the client wants with this budget. And it really takes, you know, an artist to do that. And yes, it definitely does take a more, you know, feasible thinker, but that's why, you know, the next topic is teamwork. And let me show another picture.
Clear on.
Hey, fellas, we're looking for US 52. Fellas?
Just stay connected to Forks. Try another 5 miles straight ahead.
Thanks.
Fellas, see the way she's looking at me? Mind you all won't be home on. Y'all go ahead.
God's honest truth, Homer. What other chance did a bunch of kids in Colwood actually win international science fair?
Maybe the one will be off.
Good. So why didn't you say so? Give me that.
Tapered bore. Tapered bore. Now just take it off just a little bit at a time.
Concerned that the mass of the earth will come into contact with the mass of the country rocket won't be too little. He's afraid it'll be too heavy.
Why don't we just make it longer?
Longer would allow increased volume for the propellant from a traditional mast. Great idea.
Alright, so this clip is from October Sky. I don't know if you guys have watched it. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you, what did you see from teamwork in that clip? What different aspects of teamwork did you see? So you guys can just answer.
They didn't give up.
You didn't give up, yeah?
I think they supported each other. Like
Yes,
they said, good idea.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I remember community
Yeah. So we might have seen it.
They were also
at the
white
beginning.
males.
But one of the community members was
The welder was, yeah, but he worked in the mine.
They were also fighting.
They were from West Virginia. It's true. It's based on a true story.
They were also fighting, but the
Oh, is
fighting
it?
among
It's
friends.
It's based on a true story.
Yes.
They do that in class, is that what they do? Fight?
So
Yeah, my son
that
used to go
brings
to a
us to
rocketry
the
club, so
engineering identity with teamwork. So being part of a team is not easy at all. My personal experience, I've always been like, I can solve this problem. I can do this. So it has been by myself. So usually I don't do well when I'm in a team. But that's the best thing about engineering, because we have to be in a team. And in a team, it happens that you fight. It happens that you'll disagree on some themes and some concepts, which they did, but then the objective that is ahead of you must come back quick, which was the red car that came along. So they were in a little town, and they always wanted to go beyond that town. In the town, it's just you grow up and you end up being a minor. But they wanted to open their horizons, but then nobody wanted to listen to them. That's why they came together at the first place. But then difficulties and problems, they started fighting, and then they see that goal again. And then they come back together. And they try enthusiasm, they persevere, and they went all along. And eventually this succeeds, and all the town wants to see it, because now it's a well thing done. Right? So, yeah. So that's being an engineer with being part of a team. Yeah. So that leads us to a good question about your classes. How well do your students fit in your class?
Or do you create a comfortable environment?
Right? Because when you want to be part of a team, you want to have your place, right? And if you don't have your place, it's like, okay, what am I doing here? And that's like Colin was saying previously, he wasn't finding the right place for him because he thought like he wasn't part of what he belonged, right? And now we're gonna see a clip from a movie that I especially love. It's an indie movie. It's not in English. I haven't seen any copy in English, but I still love it. And it's one of the best movies I've ever watched. Just a part of it.
When we watch this in class, the students asked me to bring them some tissues, so be forewarned. Get your hankies ready.
I have to get the subtitles because then it doesn't make sense. Wait, where are these subtitles?
What?
Subtitles.
Oh. This is, yeah, see, so.
Oh, that was the one.
I think I know.
42 एग्जाम्स है। अरे तू डरता बहुत है।
अच्छा जाएंगे तो हमेशा आज हमारे बीच एक ऐसे लीडर हैं जिनका मानना है कि वो हमारे हाईली क्वालिफाइड टीचर से बेहतर पढ़ा सकते हैं। तो आज प्रोफेसर रणछोड़ दास छाछड़ हमें इंजीनियरिंग सिखा। We do not have all day.
आपके पास 30 सेकंड है बोर्ड पे लिखे हुए शब्दों का मतलब समझाना। आप चाहें तो किताब का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। जिसे जवाब मिलेगा वो हाथ ऊपर करेगा। देखते हैं कौन फर्स्ट आता है और कौन लास्ट। योर टाइम स्टार्ट्स नाउ। टाइम अप टाइम अप। क्या किसी को जवाब नहीं मिल रहा? अब अपनी लाइफ का 1 मिनट रिवाइंड करो और सोचो। जब मैंने ये सवाल पूछा किसी ने ये सोचा कि आज कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा, मजा आएगा? एनीवन? सर? नहीं, सब रेस में लग गए। ऐसे पढ़ के फर्स्ट आ भी गए तो क्या फायदा? आप लोगों की नॉलेज बढ़ी? नहीं, सिर्फ प्रेशर बढ़ेगा। और ये कॉलेज है, प्रेशर को करने। अरे चाबुक के डर से तो सर्कस का शेर भी उछल के कुर्सी पर बैठना सीख जाता है। लेकिन ऐसे शेर को हम वेल ट्रेन्ड कहते हैं, वेल एजुकेटेड नहीं।
हेलो, दिस इज नॉट अ फिलोसफी क्लास। दो वर्ड का मतलब बताओ बात।
सर ऐसे कोई वर्ड्स है नहीं सर। ये तो मेरे दोस्तों के नाम है, फरहान और राजू।
कैसे पढ़ोगे इंजीनियरिंग?
नहीं सर, मैं आपको इंजीनियरिंग नहीं पढ़ा रहा था सर। वो तो आप मुझसे बेहतर जानते हैं। मैं तो आपको ये पढ़ा रहा था कि पढ़ाते कैसे। और मुझे यकीन है कि आप एक दिन जरूर सीखेंगे सर, क्योंकि मैं अपने कमजोर स्टूडेंट्स का हाथ कभी नहीं छोड़ता।
I think you guys love it, right? That's my favorite part too. There are a lot of favorite parts in it, but then this one is just, it speaks out